English shorthand higher grade 120 words per minute. Tamil Nadu speed papers. April 1941. Paper 1. Please get ready. Start. At a meeting held under the auspices of the Institute of Bankers, Dr. Rao delivered the following lecture on the economic function of state. Gentlemen, the subject is of such a vast and comprehensive nature that it is impossible to do it justice within the limited time that I have at my disposal. It is not my intention to lay down dogmatic definition of what the economic function of the state should be. All that I propose to do is to examine the opinions generally held regarding this subject from a strictly academic point of view, leaving it to you to discover for yourselves what the scope of the state should be in economic matters. The case for state control requires serious examination, securing as it does an automatic identity of savings and investments, as the same authority would be in charge of deciding how much should be saved and what should be the value of the capital goods produced in the year. There are a few considerations that militate against the view in favor of state control. Let it not be forgotten that there is still a deep disinclination on the part of the individual to work as hard for others as he does for himself. And if in working for the state, the individual regards himself as something apart from the state, there is a great danger that economic life may become static and inventions may become things of the past. At the same time, it is not an easy thing to change human nature and make people philanthropic where they were selfish before. Human nature remains much the same. If the state were thus to embark upon a large sphere of activities hitherto left to individuals, it would be necessary to devise a new system of administrative machinery that would make for an efficient government of industry by the state. Such an experiment is being made in Russia today, and it is too early to say whether it has achieved that complete success which its most fervent admirers claim for it. If state control is to succeed, it is necessary that every government servant should not only carry out orders but should wholeheartedly believe in and espouse as is even the economic program of the state. Further, in order that state control should succeed, government servants must be thoroughly honest and free from petty bribery and corruption. This requires not only an educated class of government servants with a high sense of professional honor, but also a strong and vigilant public opinion that would frown on dishonesty and make socially unprofitable the exercise of the baser motives by public servants. If all these things could be had, namely a public opinion friendly to government, a public willing to put up with all the inconvenience of state control, a civil service enthusiastically believing in the government economic program, and at the same time honest and efficient, then the practical as against the theoretical objections to state control over economic life would largely disappear. There is one thing, however, which is a clear historical tendency has been steadily in the direction of extension of state control, regulation of conditions of industrial employment, control of monopolists, redistribution of income, control of key industries are all becoming parts of the normal activities of the modern state. Today, the plea is everywhere for a larger expansion. This plea for more state control comes from various quarters. The fascist wants the state more rigidly to control economic life in order that profits may be maintained unimpaired and the country may be ready for war. The communist requires a more extended state control in order that production may be according to need, and also in order that the socialist experiments be successfully defended from destruction at the hands of Germany and Japan. The conservative Democrat wants an extension of state activities in the way of more tariffs, more bounties, more quotas, and marketing boards in order that profits and wages may both be made secure in the different industries. There is also lonely voice of the London economist who is preaching with missionary zeal the urgency of the need for a return to the good old days of non-interference, but his is a voice in the wilderness, and there is no doubt that the future rests with those who are for more control by the state of economic activities. But whether this control is to be on communist lines or fascist lines or on the English conservative and democratic lines is a question which cannot be decided by academic discussions. These economic ideas with respect to state control have been adopted by rival political systems. The fascist and the communist ideals are today meeting in a clash not only to debate but of arms, and it is the military result of this political conflict which will decide which kind of economic control by the state is going to have sway in the future, and not the academic verdict of the disinterested economist. Dear sir, we have pleasure in presenting to our valued cliently and to the travelling public generally a new Oriental Travelers Gazette, a quarterly publication which we hope will prove more interesting than the journals we were publishing for many years regularly month by month. The network of organization covers the world, and the service it offers to the traveling public, from the tourist who trots the globe for pleasure or instruction to the businessman out to sell his wares, is complete and efficient. The character of our business is as comprehensive as it is complex, necessitating a system of centralized control from the head office, which the average traveler does not perhaps fully appreciate. For example, any overseas branch of the organization can furnish you with up-to-date and reliable information concerning any journey which may be contemplated. At the headquarters of our organization, there are some 40 distinct departments comprising in all a staff numbering over 1,000 trained units. The majority of these departments are maintained to administer the branches throughout the world, to operate the intricate machinery which collaborates and distributes abroad the latest advices affecting rail, steamer and air timings, changes in railway fares, a very important and highly organized system in these days of fluctuating currencies, latest regulations affecting passport requirements, and the 101 details which are available at all our offices by means of our unique information file system. Another very interesting factor upon which hinges the efficiency of this specialized control is the training which the executives have to undergo in order to deal accurately with the varying conditions affecting the business. We maintain our own training classes to ensure successful and satisfactory shaping of the future travel executive. After going through these classes, specially selected assistants are sent abroad so that the men who control the administration at the head office and at Many of the branches abroad are men with first-hand knowledge gained through practical experience of many of the countries upon which you may seek advice. We place the services of our entire organization at your disposal in return for your patronage. Yours faithfully.